Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I just wanted to tell you what happened to me. I was getting sick of my life. I noticed that when I woke up in the morning, the sins were prominent in my life, and that I didn't want to live like that anymore. I noticed that they kept bothering me, even though I didn't want them to be there, that they were still there. So I started praying to Jesus. I was like, Jesus, please help me, help me to, because I was wondering why I wasn't happy. I had a family and everything, and I just wasn't happy with anything. And I kept thinking about, you know, sinning and stuff like that. And so I started praying to Jesus, because I noticed the sins were prominent in my life, and I didn't want to live like that anymore. So I started praying to Jesus. Jesus, please come and help me with these sins. How come I keep thinking about, I want to go out and party. I want to go out and, just, do things that I'm not supposed to be doing, and all of a sudden I was sitting in my backyard, and all of a sudden the Lord came through, and like within a couple seconds, man, He forgave me. Like, He showed me my whole life in like a second, like in more understanding than I could ever understand. Like, he showed me my whole life, and then He showed me, he told me that He loved me, and that I was forgiven for everything. And He put His Spirit into me, and He put this light into the top of my head. Like, I could feel the Spirit and His light just coming through, and it was just like so beautiful, the most beautiful light and feeling that I ever felt. And Jesus Christ, he came and did, like, I'm serious, ladies and gentlemen, He did like surgery on my heart. Like, I could literally feel Him take off all the stuff that was binding me, all the stuff that Satan and that they had wrapped around my chest and around my heart, all the sins and everything. I could feel Him like literally take that off of me, man. And I don't care what anybody says, man. Jesus Christ is a surgeon. I could, like, the whole room smelt like an operating room, and I'm not kidding, man. And I get to see the Holy Father, and I got to see Jesus. Jesus Christ came. I was praying to Him in my shower, and I kept praying and praying, and he came before me in my shower. And let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ is the most beautiful, cleanest. I mean, I can't even describe the beauty and the cleanliness and the pureness that dwells within Jesus Christ. When you look at Jesus Christ, you start looking around, because you notice that He is without evil. You notice that the air that we are breathing every day is dirt compared to Him. Like, I started looking around, and there ain't nothing in existence that is more pure and more beautiful than Jesus Christ. You couldn't help, when you look at Jesus Christ, you can't help but notice the absence of anything evil. That's how pure and clean He is. You start looking around at everything, because there ain't nothing in the atmosphere that's as clean as Him and as pure as Him. And He's so beautiful, and He's so pleasant and so kind, and it's just like it says, when you go to Jesus Christ and to God, our Holy Father, and you pray to them, they forget about your sins. You go to them wholeheartedly and ask them for forgiveness in your life, and they'll forgive you, and they put their Spirit in you, man, and they help cleanse you, and man, they help they dress you up, man. They help you, you know, with your life. I don't know what's going on in your life, but there was a lot of demonic manipulation going on in my life. I was a big time sinner, and my eyes are open now to the manipulation that's going on, and I need to warn you, ladies and gentlemen, if you are gonna practice the sins, the defiling and just the perversions and what it says, those things, man, those demons, they come around, man. That book of Enoch, it talks about them fallen angels and those demonic children, those spirits from them children, those demonic spirits from the children. Those things are absolutely real. I've seen them, and ladies and gentlemen, you don't want to see the things that they're doing. You know. So when I got saved by Jesus Christ, there was a lot of manipulation going on. When I started first praying to Him, man, I had spirits come into my backyard, and I'm not gonna lie to you, man. The pastor from my church, man, they be doing some spiritual manipulations and stuff, man. They showed up in my backyard, opened up opened up the spirit world, man, and all hell broke loose, man. And I'm gonna tell you, man, Jesus Christ came in, and he cleaned house, man, and but I need to tell you what happened. I was sitting there praying to Jesus Christ, and all of a sudden I felt this evil presence come in. And it came into my dog, man. I looked at my dog and I was like, holy shit, because I could see what was going on now. The Lord opened up my eyes, man, and I could see. And I was like, oh, man. So I looked over my dog and I could see this evil presence going to my dog. And then it started crawling up into my leg, man. And I'm like, oh my God, what is this? What is this? And it's crawling up in my leg and it's going up into my side. It's like filling my whole body, man. This freaking fire, like fire, heat. So my wife comes home and I'm like, hey, honey, you need to take me to the church, because at this time I'm still thinking my church is like a good church, And she's like, no, I'm taking you to the doctor. I'm gonna go take you to see the doctor. Something's wrong with you. And I'm like, no, honey, there is an evil presence and you need to take me to the church. So she's like, no, I'm taking you to the doctor. So she takes me over to the doctor, and I go into the doctor's office, and I'm sitting there, and I go back into the doctor's office, and we sit down, and I look at him, and he goes, so what's going on? And I go, there's like an evil presence going on. I go, there's something evil. There's something evil going on. And so he sits back in his chair, and then he sits up and he looks at me. He goes, well, what if there is? He goes, are you going to give up your soul or not? We're tired of messing with you. And you could see literally his eyes turn red and the whole damn room heated up. And you could see the spirit in the room. And by that time I was pissed. I'm like, F you, man. I'm on the first helicopter out of here with Jesus Christ. I'm not going nowhere with you. And he's all, well, have you seen it? Have you seen hell? And I'm like, F you, I'm not going with you. And he goes, well, what if we just tell your wife you're crazy and I lock you up in that back room? He goes, I'll tell her you're nuts. Nobody's going to believe you. And by that time, I started getting pissed. I was like, you know what? Fuck you, motherfucker. And I stood up and I was like, fuck you. And I walked out of there. So I walk out of there and I go up to my wife and I'm like, hey, honey, this fool tried to tell me to give up my soul. And she looks at me and she's like, what? And she's like literally thinking I'm crazy, just like he said. She's like, she don't believe me. And I'm like, yeah, honey, this motherfucker threatened me to lock me up in the back room. And she's like, no, honey, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. Let's get the F out of here. And every time she looks away, I look at him and he's doing this shit. Sucking his fingers like a freaking weirdo. So I'm like, I'm out of here. Let's go, honey. Let's go. And she's crying, what's going on? What's going on? And I'm like, fuck, let's get the heck. I'm ready to beat some ass by now. I'm pissed. I am pissed. And she's not believing a damn thing. So we get out there and, we're out there in the parking lot. And she's like, honey. And the doctor's all, well, he's fucking running his bullshit ass mouth. And then he brings another doctor out there. Literally every time she looks at me, they do this. And they're all looking at me, sucking their lips and all this crap, doing demonic bullshit. So I'm like, she doesn't want to go. So I'm like, screw this. I'm leaving. I'm walking down the street. Fuck this, man. So I'm walking down the street because I'm already like freaked out, man. I got this crap in my chest. My chest is on fire. This motherfucker, the whole damn room lit up. And this fool's threatening me. He's threatening my family. He's like, what makes you think your kids are so safe? What makes you think you're so safe? Getting all pissed off because he started out nice at first. He's all, have you seen it? Have you seen hell? And I'm all, fuck you. No, dude. I'm like, no, I'm not going. I was like, what? So and he's all, ain't nobody gonna believe you and we'll lock you up. So I'm walking down the street and next thing I know, a cop car pulls up and literally 2 cop cars pull out. 4 people get out, and I look up, and I'm looking at what I think is Lucifer and 3 demons. I had no idea what a cherubim was, what a cherub was, or anything like that. I'd never read the Bible. I didn't get saved. I was never saved or anything. So I'm looking at what I think is Lucifer and 3 demons, but when it turns out when I got home, it was Lucifer, a lion, an eagle, and an ox. So we had the human, the lion, the eagle, and the ox. There wasn't 4 demons. It was Lucifer. He's a cherub. He's a cherubim. I had the eagle fucking yelling at me. What makes you so safe? Have you seen hell? What if we just arrest you? And then he looks over at the human. He's all, can we just take him home? Or can we just take him? Can we just take him? And then the human looks up and he's like, no, we can't take him. You could see the lion over there looking all goofy, googly like an idiot. You could see the ox just sitting there, man, like a big ox. Big old bowly eyes, man. You could see the eagle just... All 4 of them just sitting there. Have you seen... They tried to say, have you seen hell? And I looked in Lucifer's eyes, and you could see the blackest black. There ain't no blacker black than that. Not even damn space. Okay? And there's a hunger in there that is just like the Bible said. The hunger in his eyes was so big and so enormous that you knew you could throw universes in there and it wouldn't even fill it. It would still continue to hunger. And I knew if I was to give up my soul to him, I wouldn't be getting out. He's a lying son of a bitch. You could see the hunger of Sheol in his eyes. And I didn't even know what Sheol was. Sheol? I never read the Bible. Nothing. I got home, I started reading the Bible. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen. So, after they threatened me and all that, and I started walking away, I could feel that spirit start to drain. I got home, Jesus Christ put a light in the top of my head, and he took all that evilness out. and he filtered it out and he put his spirit in me.